Yeah, like me and Zen, like, well, I multi-stream only like my esports stuff, but like Zen multi-streams. If
Yeah.
RT and I've multi-streamed with RTMP with on Twitch, and honestly, I mean, it's really good. Like you can just like it's really good, and it's so much easier to do it if you just do it through Rumble Studio. I don't know how Zen you multi-stream, but it's literally
I run
just
software locally on my computer using ATM.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. So you could probably ditch that software that maybe puts more pressure on your computer, and as long as your Twitch account is connected to Rumble Studio, it's literally like just a tick, and then you just boom, it just sends it. Like it's just one button.
Yeah, that's what I did, so I didn't have to have so much load on the computer with Prism. Is I'm doing it through Studio, and at first like that used to like suck because like y'all laugh when I first started using the Studio and it had that Game Boy Advance graphics.
Dude,
but it hasn't really had that problem
terrible.
like that.
No,
it hasn't had that problem.
RTMP, regular
Actually,
Studio,
when it comes
whatever, it all looks pretty good.
When it comes to ATM, it only
puts
ATM only puts a heavier load on your computer when you choose different bit rates for different platforms. I have it the same across the board, so it's not putting more strain on my computer, but it is putting more strain on my network.
Right.
Yeah, I get you.
And that's I use ATM too. That's what Pep was doing. She'll do like 10,000 on Rumble and she'll do 8,000 on Twitch because, as you know, you can't stream anything higher than 8,000. So you have to do different iterations of bit rates. But with this, apparently, it's kind of like, well, I guess you'd still have to do it at 8,000. But it's you don't have to do it. It doesn't go through OBS.
Twitch doesn't take 10,000 because I've got it streaming to 10 and it's relaying to Twitch right now, and it's working.
No, you can only do 8,000.
Okay.
It only does 8,000.
If you're affiliate or partner with Twitch, you can get higher bit rates.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Jason's
Meanwhile, I'm over
back
here
on us.
running 4,500.
Jace is getting paid by Twitch under the table.
Nah. Twitch, I'm surprised some motherfuckers ain't banned me yet.
Right. Hey, that's what got me. I'm like, wait, Jace is still good on Twitch? All right, I'm good. Might as well. Fuck, man, I might as well get on here.
I was saying like faggot and motherfucker and all this shit, and Twitch still hasn't gotten rid of us.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I have a theory on that.
Yeah.
My theory is because Twitch is very money hungry and they're starving for money because it's just not self-sufficient, and Amazon I might be wrong on this, but I think Amazon is kind of said some things behind the closed doors and say, hey, if you don't start being productive on your own, we can't fund you forever.
Yeah.
So they had to make maneuvers to kind of pull people back to the platform, get eyes back onto the platform. So they're kind of being selective with how they enforce their rules. Does that mean they're not enforcing their rules? Not necessarily. From what I can guess, they are only issuing bans based on reports.
That's probably it. Right. That's probably it, son. That's what I'm thinking.
I agree.
That's what I'm thinking is it.
But as long as they're not using any kind of like AI to like filter out words, and they clearly like can take down places. I mean, they could implement that stuff easily, right? They can,
they can easily flip the switch and it's back up and going again.
Right, and then it just automatically flags you, right? But it seems like the automatic flags, for Jay saying, are not in place right now. It's a manual, like, why did Cancel This Podcast get 70 reports today? Oh, let's check this out. Yeah. And then they'll get them, Yeah. But they're not going to spend their time. I mean, because at the end of the day, if Jace is not getting reported 70 times, at the very least, he's just sending traffic to Twitch, and they should just leave it alone. The fuck. So. Yep. And that's partly, I mean, Zen is 100% right, because I mean, as small as Rumble is, and as Rumble's not really big on anything else besides politics, Rumble existing and still just growing in any kind of capacity, and along with other platforms, it is applying pressure to all these other streaming platforms. Like it's just
that's true.
It's just applying pressure. That's why it's like, I don't want Twitch to die. I don't want Kick to die. I don't like more the merrier. Like it makes more competition the better. And multi-streaming is not
the better. Rumble, as far as Rumble's relation to Twitch, I would make the argument that Rumble's creative expression stance is actually putting the pressure on Twitch to start leaning in favor of creative expression, and not just Rumble. Kick too. Kick has been doing the same thing too.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a while.
Me for calling a bunch of Nigerians people from a shithole country. They did more enforcement on me than Twitch has. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it for a while. Like, I think Zen is 100% right. Like, you know, Chris is always talking about YouTube, and Google. Like, YouTube is a ginormous, like, market share of video uploads, and it has a good line share of live streaming. But like, they're
that's many decades old. You're not going to get rid of that.
Yeah,
you're not going to topple that.
Yeah, I mean, you can try and sue them or whatever, but your competition is Twitch, and I mean, it's gaming, and I think that they should. I mean, gaming is just so easy for them to invest in, for them to crack that. And they are doing, you know, they're doing the creator program, and you know, they got people at the company that clearly are trying to, you know, do something, but to me, it's like YouTube is not your main competition. Like, your main competition is like Kick and Twitch and these other platforms.
Twitch, exactly.
You know? Yeah, because it's like these are the markets that you can easily pull in. You know.
And the way that Rumble is going to be able to beat out their competition is that they need to quit trying to approach it from an angle of, let's compete with our competitors and just copy their homework for the most part with some changes. I'm saying, okay, you can do that, but if you're going to go that far, after you polish everything to a chrome shine, which they are doing, after they do that, they need to start trying to be superior to the competition and embody that mentality. Because if you're just going out there to compete, you're just going to be an alternative. If you're going out there to be superior to your competition, then you can actually compete.
Usually when they get good at something, like, usually they actually do, they have a better system than the other platforms. It takes a while. Like, they're obviously they're behind on a lot of features, right? But once they get the feature down, it's usually just as good, if not better, than what they like. I mean, just the quality of the streams, right? Like, if you look at Jace's quality on Twitch, I guarantee you it might be as good, if not better, on Rumble. Like that, you know, that's kind of crazy. The fact that Rumble just started doing live streaming August 2022. Like, how do Rumble streams look better than Twitch streams? Yeah, like
quickly.
Yeah, once they've got a hold of things, like, it takes them a while to get stuff actually, you know, live, you know, out of beta or whatever, because they just don't, you know, Amazon has 10 times the amount of, you know, employees, right? Yeah, once they get stuff in, it's usually pretty good quality. Once it starts working, it could take 6 months to a year to get shit to work, though. So
I've spoken about this on X. Like, one of the ways that they can easily become superior to YouTube is they put in an algorithm that isn't biased, isn't tucked away in a corner, and they get rid of the editor's picks. This would solve their promotion issue, because then they wouldn't have to promote on off sites, and because it's also solving their promotion issue, it could help alleviate the political site stigma that they have. Yeah, the favoritism would also get alleviated as well. It would be like literally 3 birds with 1 stone right there, and that's what they would have to do now. Is that easy to do? No, we're talking about something that's very difficult to do. But that is one way that they could be superior to the competition. If they can get that up and running successfully, they would be already be ahead of the curve, even against YouTube.
Yes.
So then let's say you have a trending, like, so it'd be like, I mean, so it'd be like YouTube, where YouTube has a trending thing, and they have an algorithm, but obviously they curate it, right? Because we've seen, like, where Brett Cooper will have a video that's like just 2 million in like 12 hours, or like, it'll do like 2 million in 12 hours, but she's not on trending, which is really weird. So it would have to be something where it's just like, what would it be based off of? Like, if no human being is controlling, like, the picks, how would it work? Like, views, like hours watched, like, how would it pick people to go on, like, the front page, to make sure that, you know, what is on the front page, you know, is, you know, looks good, and, you know, is going to bring people more to the platform, you know?
Okay, this is where we get to go do the homework thing, like the copy your homework kind of thing, and kind of take elements and bits from other places. Now, as you already know, I multi-stream to other sites. So if we go and look at Twitch, if you spend a certain amount of time on Twitch, like I have noticed that when I go to look at when I go to check like the categories that are available, if you go in there not logged into an account, it's going to say IRL is the top category. But if you go and log into your account, it's going to adjust that based upon what you watch regularly.
Yeah, I remember we tested that the other day. We were looking at that.
Now that's
Like
for
based on your
categories.
Google search? Based on your Google searches?
No, what you're watching.
On
Say
the-
like if you
on
watch a
Twitch.
certain amount of say like if say like for example in my case I've watched a large amount of randomizers for Ocarina of Time. That's at the top of the list right now.
Well, then gaming content would never get featured ever, because that wouldn't work, because then only the political stuff would be featured. The gaming stuff would get buried forever. You have to have, it's not a, you'd have to have somebody grab some of the gaming content and forcibly put it on the top shelf, because it's not a gaming platform. You know what I mean? Like, so we basically would never get any kind of, if you only do gaming,
Now this feed would also be tailored specifically to each viewer and what they regularly search for.
Yeah, but I mean, there's just not enough people who are gaming. They don't watch. Most people aren't like looking for gaming content here, so we would lose out. We would lose out completely.
We would lose out completely until people start picking up the platform.
Yeah,
but then I mean they'd still just be. I think they would still just watch political content. You kind of have to shove it into people's faces, and then eventually people do come.
So what needs to happen though is Rumble needs to let the creators kind of facilitate the growth and do the touch ups where necessary. The problem is that's a very fine line to thread. It's very difficult to do while also continuing to accelerate the growth.
Yeah,
correct.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Well, and then even then, I mean, the creators on Rumble who have all of the pull then would be the political content, right? So it would just go back to a status quo anyway. It would go back to like 2022, which I mean, I'm not saying it's terrible. Like, I mean, I guess it would be more fair, It's just let the chips fall where they may. But then what would be the point of being on Rumble? You might, like, if you're trying to game, then if the algorithm would be let to go just as it is, it would only be 95% of the people would, and then on top of that anyway, and then Silver Fox would still get, if any gaming would be, it would just all be Silver Fox and Lumpy and the people anyway, because people who only get 100 views would be completely buried. But there are people that do get selected who have a low follower count. They do get featured. But if you had an algorithm like that, like literally nobody would ever get the front page at all, ever.
Actually, here's something that Twitch does to alleviate that. Rumble has copied Twitch's 2014 system. Twitch has changed that system since then, where it's like if you look at it, it's like a mix of viewer counts. So like it goes like high number creator, then like a couple of low number viewer accounts, and then it goes to high, then it goes back down to low. It just mixes it around so that way everyone gets right there at the front of it. I noticed that it starts doing that at about 15 viewers. Anyone below 15 viewers is still buried.
Got it. So you gotta crack through that 15, and 15 viewers is pretty tough to get on. I think I've got 8 one time, or I saw on my stream. I think recently on the fighting game stuff, I got like 8, I think. And that was like the most I've ever seen. So yeah, I mean that makes sense. Yeah, I mean for me, maybe if we had that for Rumble, maybe if it's like maybe when you get to like 20 viewers, it would that would work.
Yeah, kind of do that.
I think that would work.
As for like the front page arrangement, if you go over to YouTube right now,
makes sense,
and you compare that to Rumble, the first thing you see is like, here's your recommended videos based on your watch history. And then let's gloss over shorts because we don't have shorts. And you scroll down so far, and then it goes to trending.